The average person checks their phone 96 times a day. That is once every 10 minutes. And according to researchers at the University of California, Irvine, every single time you get distracted, it takes an average of 23 minutes to fully return to your original task. Do the math. If you are being interrupted that often, you are never truly focused. Not once. Not for a single meaningful stretch of time. Your entire productive life is happening in the cracks between distractions. In the next 10 minutes, you are going to discover exactly why deep focus has become the rarest and most valuable skill on the planet, what the science actually says about how your brain performs under distraction, and the counterintuitive truth about productivity that most self-help gurus completely ignore. There is one shift in how you structure your time that changes everything. It is not a hack. It is not an app. And by the end of this video, you will understand why the people doing the most meaningful work in the world are also the ones who have made themselves the hardest to reach. The concept of deep work was formally defined by computer science professor and author Cal Newport, but the principle itself stretches back centuries. Charles Darwin worked in strict isolation for 4 hours a day and produced theories that changed human understanding of life itself. Carl Jung built a stone tower in the Swiss countryside specifically to retreat from the world and do uninterrupted thinking. Benjamin Franklin, Maya Angelou, Toni Morrison, the pattern repeats across history. The greatest minds did not multitask their way to brilliance. They carved out sacred time and protected it obsessively. Newport defines deep work as professional activity performed in a state of distraction-free concentration that pushes your cognitive capabilities to their limit. This kind of work creates new value, improves your skills, and is hard to replicate. The opposite of deep work is what most of us spend our days doing: shallow work. Sending emails. Attending meetings. Scrolling feeds. Responding to messages. Activities that feel productive but do not actually move the needle on anything that truly matters. Here is where it gets alarming. A 2023 report from Microsoft found that the average worker switches tasks every 40 seconds when working in front of a computer. Not minutes. Seconds. And neuroscientist Gloria Mark at UC Irvine found that even brief interruptions, as short as 2 to 3 seconds, can double the number of errors a person makes on a task. The modern workplace has been engineered, almost perfectly, to make deep work impossible. But here is what nobody talks about. The cost is not just lost productivity. The cost is cognitive atrophy. When you spend years training your brain to constantly seek novelty, to jump from tab to tab, notification to notification, you are literally rewiring your neural pathways. You are training yourself to be incapable of sustained attention. And once that capacity erodes, rebuilding it is genuinely difficult work that most people never bother to do. This is why deep work is not just a productivity strategy. It is a competitive advantage that compounds over time. When the world is getting shallower, the person who can go deep becomes exponentially more valuable. So how does deep work actually work in the brain? When you focus deeply on a cognitively demanding task, your brain enters a state researchers call flow, a term coined by psychologist Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. In flow, your prefrontal cortex reduces self-monitoring, your sense of time distorts, and you produce work at a quality and speed that simply is not accessible in a distracted state. Studies show that people in flow are 5 times more productive than they are in a normal working state. 5 times. That means 1 hour of deep work can equal 5 hours of fragmented, distracted effort. Flow does not happen instantly. Research suggests it takes an average of 15 to 20 minutes of uninterrupted focus before you begin to enter that state. Every interruption resets that clock. This is why checking your phone just once at the start of a work session can destroy your capacity for deep work entirely, before you have even begun. Now let us talk about the practical architecture of deep work, because theory without application is just entertainment. Newport identifies 4 main philosophies for scheduling deep work, and understanding them changes how you approach your entire day. The first is the monastic philosophy. This means eliminating shallow obligations almost entirely and dedicating your life to deep work. Think authors on a 6-month writing retreat. This works for very few people. The second is the bimodal philosophy. You divide your time into clearly defined deep and shallow periods. Maybe 4 months of the year you work in total isolation. The rest you are available. Carl Jung used this exact approach. He would treat patients in Zurich, then vanish to his tower in Balingen to think and write. The third is the rhythmic philosophy, and this is the one most applicable to ordinary working people. You create a daily habit of deep work at a fixed time. Every single day. Same time, same environment, same ritual. You remove the decision about when to do deep work by making it automatic. Research in habit formation shows that linking a behavior to a consistent time and place dramatically increases follow-through. This is not a coincidence. This is how your brain forms durable routines. The fourth is the journalistic philosophy. You fit deep work in wherever you can find time in your schedule. Newport actually warns against this for most people, because it requires the ability to immediately switch into a deep focus state on demand, a skill that takes years to develop. But here is the counterintuitive insight that most productivity content never reaches. Downtime is not the enemy of deep work. It is the essential partner. Neuroscientist Mary Helene Mordino-Yang at USC found that rest activates your default mode network, the part of your brain responsible for making meaning, connecting ideas, and processing complex emotions. The insights that feel like they come from nowhere, in the shower, on a walk, in that hazy moment before sleep, are not accidents. They are the result of your unconscious mind integrating the information you fed it during focused work. This is why the best deep workers do not just protect their focus time. They also protect their rest. They are not trying to squeeze productivity out of every waking moment. They understand that the brain needs cycles of effort and recovery, just like a muscle. Working 14 hours a day in a state of fragmented attention produces far less than 4 hours of genuine depth, followed by real disconnection. What does this mean in real-world terms? Let us look at two types of knowledge workers. The first checks email constantly, keeps Slack open all day, bounces between tasks, and puts in 10 hours. They feel busy. They feel important. They end the day exhausted but cannot point to a single piece of genuinely meaningful work completed. The second worker blocks 2 to 4 hours every morning for a single difficult task. No phone. No notifications. No meetings before noon. They do the hard cognitive work first when their prefrontal cortex is at peak function, then handle communication and logistics in the afternoon. At the end of the week, the second worker has produced more high-quality output in 25 hours than the first person has in 50. This is not a metaphor. This is what the data on knowledge worker performance actually shows. The real enemy of deep work is not distraction itself. It is the normalization of distraction. We have built cultures, offices, and digital tools that treat constant availability as a virtue. But attention is the currency of the knowledge economy, and you are spending it on things that give you almost no return. The path forward is not complicated, but it is difficult. Start small. Build one 90-minute block of protected focus into your day. Remove your phone from the room. Close every tab that is not directly related to your task. Tell the people around you that you are unavailable. Do this every single day until it becomes automatic. Then expand. Then go deeper. Your ability to focus is not fixed. It is a skill. Before you go, if you learned something valuable today, hit that like button right now. Subscribe to Get Up Life for a brand new video every single day. We will see you in the next one.